Poet and activist Bruce George has made people aware that genius is common. As a wordsmith, I have to look at every word I use, and I had to get the definition of genius. It's an exceptional ability or talent of a particular kind, and common, relating or belonging to the community as a whole, often occurring or frequently seen. Now, genius, to some it may seem as a contradiction, but to others we understand that everyone has a genius. And when I was thinking of what I wanted to share of my genius, I wanted to share not being a wordsmith or a storyteller, but certain insights I've been able to see and put into words. So I'm going to share a poem I wrote many years ago. And I think it fits perfectly the idea and explains why genius is common. How do we reconcile the plight of the so-called underdeveloped, uneducated person in society with the quest for spiritual perfection? Do we ignore one in the quest for the other, or compromise the other to correct the one? Why do we fall into such states of inertia? Do we act within the world or upon our thoughts to change the world? Isn't it true that for centuries of existence, while warriors warred, preachers preached, seekers sought, within the universe of a million universes, must I dwell within a single realm? Or does eternal experience thrust me into the multiplicity of worlds within one? Do we choose, or are we chosen by karmic destiny to perfectly portray a dimension of creative character in this most precious play called life eternal? We arrive at the point when the reporter becomes the reported, the writer becomes the written, the lover becomes the beloved, the wealth becomes the work. When I become you, you become me, we become free. When the employer becomes the employee, the sufferer becomes the healer, the seeker becomes the sought, the traveler becomes the traveled. When I become you, you become me, we become free. When the lawyer becomes the defendant, the teacher becomes the student, the mother becomes the daughter, the son becomes the father. When I become you, you become me, we become free. When the slave becomes the master becomes the prince becomes the pauper becomes the prophet. When I become you, you become me, we become free. Oh, swells my heart with sweet joy in the ecstasy of this boundless reverie bestowed so freely by conscious continuity. Genius is common.